All right, let's begin. All right, let's take this off. Okay. Someone had asked me again about the pivot points. They still don't understand it. That's fine. I'll go over it again one more time, and I hope this time it clicks in. Okay. I hope it does. I hope it does this time. I'm gonna try to explain it more detailed. All right. So pretty much how to project the high and low intraday support and resistances, right? And the possible trading range. Possible trading range, right? Possible trading range. I mean, M4, M2 day, M3, M1, right? I talked about this already. Okay. They're calculated on daily candles, right? Yesterday's price action gives tomorrow's pivot points. Right? Remember how I said they hit the stops here or they hit the stops here? This this can give you, this would possibly be a M3. This could be a M1. And then here, your central pivot point would line up, right? Somewhere around here in the middle, right? Okay. A red candle indicates a M1, M3 day. A green candle indicates a M2, M4 day, right? All right, now here.
Yeah, right there.
Huh?
What makes it a red candle? Is it like the closing of the day or the start of the day?
J- just, okay, hold on. Just for it being, oh, wow, black. You get a red candle. Oh, there. Just for it being closed, your pivots will line up already like that. If this is a red, your pivots would be like this, M1, and then your M3 will be somewhere around here, okay? However, this is, keep in mind though, okay? Let's just say price was dropping for 3 days, and then this one ended like this. You have to start thinking that the market makers are going to hit the brakes and eventually reverse, right? So if all the signals present 3 days of drop, everything I've taught you, 3 days of drop, or 2.5 days or 4 days, depending if they anchor in on the Tuesday, remember, 3.5 days of rise or fall. If they do this 3 days, just an example, 3 days, and they pin this area, this would be your intraday for the next day. This will be your support area, and this will be your your resistance area. All right. So if all the signals line up, like I said, if there's a M1 here, there's a LOB here if it forms. If it forms based off of the pivot, right? Okay. Because these help you project. Okay. Remember, yesterday's price action gives tomorrow's pivot points. So if this action was this, hit the stops, right? Hit the stops up, hit the stops down, back in consolidation, right? Your M1 would form around this area, and your M3 for this area because they came here, right? Remember, ADR also comes in here, right? ADR, let's just say for this one was 100. All right, hit the stops 25 pips here, hit the stops down here 25 pips, and then 50 pips here, right? This the whole move was 50, so that's 100. ADR was filled. Okay, just an example. This is what I mean. Okay. All right. Also, if we know that yesterday is a down day, oh, that mic, whose mic is that? Okay. All right. Never mind. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, if we know that yesterday is a down day, and we look at the pivots, M1, M3 projection for tomorrow. Okay. So I won't get you confused again. Red candle equals a downtrend or down cycle. The pivots are M1 and M3. Okay, so what does that mean? You're freaking confusing me, man. What does that mean? It means that we expect the HOD to form here, seek out M1, pull back 25 pips, and end the day in consolidation. Hits M3, you expect 3 levels of drop hitting M1. Does that make sense? Okay. If the daily candle, okay, now let's do it the other way around. If the daily candle closes green, and you're in a market maker up cycle, the projection for the LOD is M2. Same thing, M2, and then somewhere around here, your M4, right?
Oh, okay. So whatever that mark is where the LOD and the HOD is. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. These help you project tomorrow's HOD and LOD, okay? So these are what the pivot points are for, okay? So by the yeah. By the way, they only work on the 15-minute chart, all right?
You said the 50-minute?
15, yeah, 15.
15.
Mm-hmm. I would only use them on the 15. I haven't tried them on the bigger time frames, but I honestly they work best on the 15. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So understand that the M1 and M2 are possible points where the LOD might come in. Okay. So in an up cycle, green, this would be your projection possibly for your LOD to form. All right. Trying to break it down in details now. Okay. And oops, for red, excuse me, for for a down, right? For a down here, this is where the LOD may form for a M1. Okay. So this is how you start using the pivot points to help you also project tomorrow's LOD and HOD. All right. All right. Now the M3s and M4s. All right. Let me get some of this out. Yeah, clear. All right. The M3 and M4s are areas of possibility of where the HOD will be made. Okay. Example. Oh, they're not stacked like that, but whatever. Okay, you get the point. Okay, example. There's 2 down candles and a doji. These are daily candles, all right? Daily candles. There's 2 down candles and a doji. What does this mean? I'm at level 3 in that pair. All right. So also to get this same thing in the up cycle. All right, let's change the color. 2 greens, a doji. I'm at level 3 in this pair on the up cycle market making downtrend, uptrend, and then on this one, down. So we would start looking for a reversal back in the range, right? Somewhere around here. And then for here, somewhere around here. Okay? All right, just also FYI, M3 and M4s are located above the central pivot points. Okay? If you have the indicator installed, you'll notice that the M3 and the M4, your mic is running. Your mic is running. Who is it? Gotcha. Okay. Anyways, the M3 and the M4 pivots are located above the central pivot point. The central pivot point says like this. It's a CP. I just put CP. But is the let me look the color. It's that little dotted yellow line you see. It just says pivot. I'm sure you've seen it. It says pivot. That's your central pivot point. It says it's like this. Okay. Okay. M1 and M2 are located below this area, below this pivot point, central pivot point. Sorry, this central point. Your M1 and your M2 are located below. Okay, these are above, these are below this pivot, the central pivot point. All right. Okay, some also important notes. Just because it hits your pivot points, it doesn't mean to strike it. Very important. I'll repeat it again. Just because price, okay, let's get some of this out. Just because price comes here and hits your, let's just say your M1 pivot, it doesn't mean to strike it and, oh, it should reverse from here and, yeah, no. It means if it holds that pivot for 30 or 90 minutes, then you strike. Everything I've taught you would apply here also. M or W, same thing. An M or your M4, M3 here, M1, M2 here. This is what it means. If it holds this area for 30 to 90 minutes or 2 hours maximum, from what I've taught you, this is good to go. All right. Sometimes I've seen this happen. Okay. I've seen this happen. Sometimes the HOD, oh, excuse me, the LOD is not here. The blue tracer, it's not here. It's not, I don't even know where the hell is it when this happens, but it's not there. So, okay, excuse me, had a text. So, okay, I've seen this happen. Like I said, I've seen this happen before. It's not there. So, this is where your pivot can help guide you, okay? This is why I gave you this indicator to help you guide. Because sometimes the LOD is not going to be there. You're going to be like, what the hell? Am I just going to take a reversal in the middle of space like here? Like there's no support. There's no, you know? Okay, so this is what I mean. This is where your pivot comes in handy. Again, if they hold this area, you're good to go. Take the trade here. They hold this area. If there's no HOD here, fine. But if there's an M4, M3, and they hold it for 30 to 90 minutes, up to 2 hours maximum, you take this, all right? You take this. Don't be scared. You take this. You expect this. Hit the stops, high drop, hit the stops, right? The cycle back in the range, right? All right. All right, good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Now, quick question, because you would just send me the software yesterday. So for the template, which template do you use again to see all the
For the pivot points.
Yeah, I got the SM pivot points.
Okay. Actually, the template doesn't contain the pivots. I'll after we end the webinar, I'll send you the pivot points indicator. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just remind me though. I may forget.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. A little bit more about pivot points. Okay. Your pivots are the intraday support and resistances. Okay. Pretty much. A break of one level is almost always certain to give you the next pivot level. So, Shorty, I think you had a question on that. There's an M5, right? This is what I mean.
Yeah.
If I think what is after it, I don't even know. I've never seen it, but I think it's M0 or S1 or something. I think it's like S1 or S2 or something like that. Okay. My point is though, if this is an M4 pivot, all right, on the up cycle, price has been rising for 2.5 days, 3 days, 4 days, up to 5 days. It can even go up to 5 days, all right, depending on when they're at, when they anchor and when they complete the pattern. Okay, let's see. Hold on, I got a question, guys. This is the middle of yesterday. Yes, yes, Sila. This is so. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I mean. So the daily candle, right? The central pivot. Remember, the central pivot will be in the middle of these always. So if M4 or M3 is here, you know your pivot, your central will be automatically here, right? It will be automatically here because the M3 cannot be down here. That there's no way, that's not possible. All right, it has to be above. Okay, it can never do that. I've never seen that happen, and if it does, then there's probably some malfunction, but no. Okay, so M3, and then same here. All right, your M1 forms below the central pivot. So yes, to answer your question, yes, this is the middle, pretty much the middle. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Plan B. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah. So a break of one level is almost certain. So what I mean by that is if they come here, right, the cycle hit the stop. Okay, three. Okay, if they hit the M1 here and it breaks through, this is almost certain that it's gonna go to the next pivot. I forgot what it is. I think it's M0. Okay. If someone finds the answer to that, I'll be glad. Okay. But anyways, I think it's M0. Okay. This is almost always certain that it will go to the next pivot area level, if you will, want to call it like that. All right. Also important, big market moves will often disrupt the pivot points for the following trade session. When this happens, you ignore the pivots and identify the pattern. The pattern is the strongest, most powerful thing in this method, right? Which is MMAW, WVVM, right? We attack stop hunt lows on the uptrend with buys. We attack stop hunt highs on a downtrend with sells. Okay.
Those market moves usually come after news. Those big market moves.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I have a picture. I think it was let's see. If I find it, awesome. But if not, oh well. It was for NFT, by the way. Let's see if I still have it though. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, if I find it, awesome. So I can show you that this happens. Let's see. Oh, that's what I mean. All right, here's a perfect example. You see how this was NFP? I took an entry here. Yes, I did. I put a 11 cent. This was up for like 200 pips, by the way. Okay, so yeah, this is what I mean. You see how they all start getting disrupted? Look at all like what the hell just happened. You see what all these pivots are now?
Yes.
Yeah. So for the next session, these pivots are going to be all like they're not gonna be all that like I'm not saying that they're all gonna be like misplaced. They're all gonna be in the same area like as if they're not like what I mean is the M4 is not gonna be down here below the pivot, never. Okay, what I mean is that they're gonna be all disrupted like this, like all weird, like that doesn't make sense. So when this happens for the next session, forget the pivots and identify the pattern. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I mean. Let's see. Just check. It is M0. Okay. Hey, Janelle. I appreciate you. Yeah, it is M0, guys. Okay. So if price breaks through the M1, your next target is the M0. All right. Okay. And then vice versa, the M4. If it's a M1, M3 day or M2, M4 day, and it breaks the M4, you aim for the M5. If it's a M1, M3 day, breaks the M3, you aim for the M4. All right? Pretty simple. It's pretty simple. This is how the pivots can help you. All right? All right, let's keep going. Get someone out. All right, so did y'all get that pivots points a little more better now? Did you understand that? Shorty, Nathan,
Yeah.
yeah,
I got a
yeah,
little better. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, let's see. Got another question. Let's see. Okay, Janelle, cool. Yeah, so that's how you use the pivots. All right. So I haven't had no questions on the TDI. That's pretty good. Looks like I guess y'all can use the TDI. Later on, once we all catch up and we're in the same pace, like I said, we'll talk about the levels in the TDI. I'll talk also about scaling in. Remember I said about scaling in with TDI. Possibly I haven't tried it, but let me see. Right, okay, TDI. Right. Okay, and example, right? So if price drops and the red line crosses, oh crap, sorry, crosses the yellow, that's your second entry from an M or V top or whatever you took. All right, that would be your second entry. So if you took an entry here and your TDI gets in the signal line, be like this, you can add another contract here. All right, and you start scaling in. All right. And that's what I mean. I'll talk about all the levels and in here and how the TDI can also help you identify if you are in that level 3. Okay, pretty amazing what you can do with the TDI. I'll talk about that later on. All right. Yeah, get some of this out now. All right, so let's see. Any other questions? I haven't written down here. All right, so let me see. Okay, moving averages, we went over that already. So I got that one answered. Oh, okay. A quick overview. A quick overview on the. I want to go over y'all with this. All right. What to look for in the trade. I'll go over it again. All right. What to look for in the trade. Scan for proper channel size. All right. We know this already. Okay. Just want you to understand. I have some people struggling with it, so I want everyone to be on the same page. All right. Scan for proper channel size less than 50, right? Range should be less than 50 or less. All right. I already talked about what happens if the box is blown out. Okay. Look for the breakout, the false move. What is the false move? Can anyone tell me? Let's see if y'all learned something. What is the false move after the Asian box? Y'all are a little quiet today. What's going on? You can write it here on the chat. You don't have to talk. You're out of the box. Come on, guys. Come on. Remember yeah, after the Asian box. Yeah. What are we looking for? What kind of candles are we looking for? Yeah, thank you, Gio. Awesome. Yeah, there we go. Now we're together. Now we're in the same page. Awesome. Okay. So we're looking for the 3 vector candles, right?
And the purpose of the vectors is to hit the pending orders and the stops, right?
Pretty much these vectors are really to get things going, because usually an Asian range is slow and it chops. So most of the time, remember false move beginning session. So sometimes they're gonna. This is the false move beginning session. All right.
Okay.
And how I discussed, sometimes they're gonna be 2 candles, one big fat candle. Well, this is supposed to be green, whatever, but this is supposed to be green. Okay, on the upside.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, or it can be up to small 10 candles. However, we can identify this because we have the HOD or whatever is here as acting as resistance. All right. Okay. Next, wait for the LOD or HOD to settle in. I mean by that is that they don't go above here and then break it and keep going up. I mean that they probably throw a wick and they pull back and start consolidating. Market makers are consolidating. Okay, what do I got? What do I got here? I got these guys. Like, what do I got? What do I got? Okay. Next, has the the market maker, held the level for 30 to 90 minutes? Did he come here again? Excuse me. Did he come here and form a second leg through a pin here, through a pin much higher than this one, or through a pin less than here? But he ended down here. He did not close above your HOD. He closed below. Okay, that's what I mean. Did he also, keep in mind the timing element? Did he hold this area for 30 to 90 minutes, up to 2 hours? Is the pattern present? Do I see railroad tracks? Do I see spike candles? Is there like a evening star here? What do I got? Okay. Did he come back for more? Did he form a second leg and then come back one more time? Greedy bastard, by the way. He came back one more time and grabbed more orders, and actually at one time, in hindsight, this was a big green bar. You're getting scared, like, oh, holy crap, my stop got hit, or whatever the case is. Or if you just woke up and you see this, okay? And then it's kind of funny though, when you start seeing these in hindsight, kind of crazy what they do. They'll leave the candle solid green. I've seen it before. They'll leave the candle right here, chilling, just chilling right there until the last seconds. They sometimes it's just the last minutes and then they close, but I've seen it in seconds sometimes. The last 10 seconds. We have already the indicator that gives us the timing of the candle, how many seconds or minutes it got. So that helps you out, okay? They have seconds, like the last 5 seconds, they push up a little, like a little burst, and then they close immediately in the hammer. It's crazy. These guys are a-holes, okay? Okay, so my point is that they end in the hammer here, that they come and retest this area again and failed, keyword, failed to take it out. If you have identified all of these steps, place your entry without fear, and your stop loss, and your take profits. You don't have to use a take profit, but you could just, if you're just looking at it, that's fine. You'll have a piece of usually a piece of mayo here, or a piece of water somewhere around here. All right, we know first take profit water, second mayo. If it breaks through the water and you don't have time to look at the trade or something, just add a trailing stop somewhere around here, and all right, so on and so forth. All right, or just use a trailing stop of 32 pips or whatever you want to do. All right. Once you master this, though, you can manually adjust your trailing stops and your so on and so forth. Okay. Also note, these sometimes fail. They fail, guys. All right. This is very important. They're not always gonna work. I've seen it happen in my own eyes. I've got stopped out before. Okay, this is what I mean. If market makers extend the high or low in 10 or 15 pips, scratch yourself out. Don't sit there like a donkey. If you're seeing that they're doing this, and keep going. I've seen, this is why it's important to have a stop loss. All right. If you see this behavior, you're like, man, this is not looking good. There's a green candle that closed here. There's another green candle that closed here, but it's barely above the HOD. Don't take the 23 pip stop loss. Just scratch yourself out. Take a -10 or -8 or whatever it is. Don't take the whole 23 in this location, all right? If you're seeing this, scratch yourself out. When it takes out the high or the low, if they burst through, let's just say like 75 pips, if they burst through the HOD and you had an M here and it failed and it broke through, that is a new level. All right. By the way, I'm answering one of your questions. I think if they break through this area, okay, this is a new level. This is a new level. All right. I told you in the beginning that the HOD and the LODs are your strongest supporting resistances in this business. This is about trapping, collecting contracts, right? If the dealer comes and breaks through this area, is because he didn't have what he needed. He didn't have what he needed, so he went up for more. Greedy. greedy. They can be greedy, but we can't. When we trade, we can't be greedy when we're in profit, by the way. All right. But yet they're greedy. So that's what they did. There's no other explanation to it. If you have your level counts, all of this, your vectors, your channel, everything lining up, and they do this, there's no way of predicting this, to be honest, right? This can happen, okay? If this happens, just scratch yourself out, look for another trade, all right? All right. Okay, and then the trade is over when the pair goes back into consolidation. What I mean by that is that if you're holding and if there, let's just say there's no moving averages here, and you take a reversal. Oh, I need to get some of this out, by the way. Hold
Yeah, I was about to say you was
on.
making a Picasso.
Yeah. Okay. The trade, if you take this and there's no moving average here, the trade is over when it goes into consolidation. Take your profit. All right. Just take your profit here in the consolidation. Okay. All right, guys. Guess this is gonna be it for today. Um, if you have any other questions, just feel free to message me. All right. I really hope everyone understood a little bit more on the pivots and got a more clarification on what this method is and consists of. Okay.
I appreciate you.
No problem. Everybody have a good night. All right.